My name is Alison, and I grew up in Mishawaka, Indiana. I grew up Pentecostal. We went to a Pentecostal church, so that was the first thing I was introduced to probably when I was about 11. I was baptized, and then as a teenager, I went back to a non-denominational church. I was active in the church, and then they started preaching to, dark. Too dark to the point where I didn't feel I was getting anything out besides that I was a sinner, I was going to hell, and I stopped going, and I fell out from religion altogether. It started, as soon as I stopped going to the church, I just was like, this God thing's not for me anymore. What has he done for me? It got really dark, especially, I say my darkest was 2016, when I really fell out from God. I was going through a lot. I went through a really, really rough breakup that completely broke me. I went through, some severe depression, some really bad anxiety to where I questioned every day if I wanted to live. I would literally wake up and be in my car and say, God, just today be the day to kill me. I didn't want to live at all. And then in 2017, I stood on a bridge at Mishawaka and decided, I was like, you know what, I'm done. I said, God, is there any reason you want me to live? Then show me a sign. And my friend from North Carolina called me. So I say that kind of was a breaking point. And then literally the next day, Sarah texted me to come to her baptism. This is hard. Just going from that dark state of mind, even my parents would say, they're like, this isn't you. They're like, this dark aura follows you. And they're like, we've never seen you to be dark. They're like, you're bubbly, you're funny, my mom always says, you have a glimmer in your eye, and that glimmer was gone because it was so consumed with depression and hate and anger of everything that I went through that I never thought it would be lifted from me. And then Sarah invited me again, so I came. And I sat there, I was like, okay, I see what's happening. Because every message I came here, it was God was like, Alison, come here, come sit with me. And I was like, no, this isn't happening, this isn't true. I was like, whatever. So I sat there stone cold, just no, this isn't happening. And then the end of one service, I was sitting there and I was like, man, that message just hit me. So I was like, okay, so I'll come next week. And then Sarah that would have been Sarah's baptism. And I didn't want to go that morning. Everything was going wrong. I woke up late. I got stuck behind traffic. I couldn't get everything that could have went wrong was that wrong. Because I remember texting Sarah and was like, yeah, I'm not coming. And then I was like, no, you said you're coming. So I get here. It's late. All the seats are filled. There's only one spot left, and it's right in the front row, and I was late. And I remember the whole service, I was trying so hard not to cry, because everything was moving. Everything that was from this worship to the message, everything was Alison, what are you doing? And I remember I watched these people, I didn't even know these people get baptized, and I'm sitting over there, hysterically crying. It came out. And I remember when Sarah was brought back up from the water, I lost it. I cried the entire way home. I called my mom and said, Mom, God just moved me. And she was like, really? And I was like, I feel better. And she was like, you feel better? And I was like, I feel better. So I came back, and it just all of a sudden it's everything, God lifted me, God saved me. If it wasn't for that one invite for Relevant, I don't honestly know if I would be here today. I serve in Re-Kids, which I feel is always been, I always have worked well with kids, and I love working with kids. I work with kids now at the dental center. I'm a pediatric dental assistant. I work with kids every single day, and I feel that's my calling, is to be with kids, and I do feel children's ministry is something I'm being called towards. I spend more time in my Bible, which was something I never did. I feel my whole demeanor is just better. Like, instead of just, oh, well, my life sucks, it's, let me pray about this. Like, my first thing is to turn to prayer and to turn to God before I turn to just being angry and hate and turn to, like, I listened to some really bad music before, so my mom says I'm not Eeyore anymore. She's like, she said that I was Eeyore and this was the dark cloud that just followed me around.
So what's your hope for the future?
Just to continue to grow in God, just to fulfill my purpose in everything I've done and built, just not go backwards and just fulfill my purpose with Him using my spiritual gifts, and hopefully my story or showing that you can go from this broken hate to living for God and see how beautiful everything can be with Him.